Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Alejandro Guerrero of Lockton, Argentina and Uruguay, and the Honorable Daniella Levine Cava, Mayor of Miami-Dade County.
Good morning. Well, thank you all for gathering here. We have the presence of the mayor of County of Miami-Dade and the host of this first Climate Week Miami. Congratulations. It's a great opportunity for everything that is being done in Miami-Dade County, the commitment and everything, and giving this possibility to sharing it with cities from around the world of the Americas. I think it's a fantastic venue, and I'd like to hear your comments about all the things that you're doing. I'm going to be asking you some questions then, but how about this first Climate Week Miami?
How about that?
It's incredible.
Well, we are at the forefront, if you will. We call ourselves the canary in the mine shaft, or we know it happens here first, and we've experienced greater rates of sea level rise and certainly extreme weather. So it's really wonderful to have the world paying more attention to these challenges, and very hopeful for the results of this conversation.
So great, and so it's a good opportunity to be sharing this with all the cities of Latin America and all the cities of the Americas in general. So welcome all the guests, and I hope you're having a great time. This is going to be a very interesting week. South Florida has been designated a National Technology Center, okay? But it's the first one that has been a particular focus on resilience. Resilience, why? Why is this? I mean, this is something very new, and why was Miami elected particularly for resilience, all the work?
31 communities were granted the designation as a tech hub by the Economic Development Administration, and we were the only one with climate at the epicenter of our work. And we're very hopeful to receive substantial federal dollars to help us jumpstart some of the industries. Basically because we are the sunshine state with sea level rise, climate change, and the like, we should be at the forefront of these solutions, if you will. We have the challenges, so we definitely need to have the solutions, and we are extremely innovative place by our DNA, and also by our migration patterns. We are host to over 50% foreign born and 70% Hispanic Latino in our Miami-Dade County, so very, very diverse and unified place. So specifically for this climate tech hub, we were able to identify 3 pillars. The first is energy efficiency, and specifically HVAC systems. And actually we have the largest producer of HVAC in the world right here, Watsco. So that is very, very relevant. We also are looking at clean cement for infrastructure building, and certainly cement are us. We know a lot about cement, especially after the collapse of the Champlain Tower South and Surfside. And then the green-gray artificial reef structures that will strengthen our shorelines. And specifically, this was developed right here at the University of Miami and the Rosenstiel School. And it's something called sea hives, and they're very attractive devices that really help a lot with preventing erosion and wave action. So we're excited that the federal government is interested as well.
So this is the resilience state as well, okay?
Yes, it is indeed. And I do want to point out that we've been the first at many, many things out of necessity, but also invention. So the first in the world chief heat officer, which has been followed suit around the world, and working together on resolving issues of extreme heat, protecting our bay, which is our blue heart and our economic engine, solarizing electric infrastructure, all of the things that are necessary to be the most resilient place, the most challenges and the most resilient.
So this national hub is very important, and the
Yes.
resilience focus is well earned. Okay.
Yes, thank you.
Well, great. But let's look at what is happening now, okay? Last year, summer temperatures all around the world have beat incredible records, okay? And May 1st is coming up. May 1st is sort of the beginning of the season. It's the time where we start feeling all these the possibilities, and there's some announcement that it might be a very, very rough summer. Okay, how, I know this is a matter of concern, but how well is Miami prepared for this now? Citizens and business continuity and all the efforts that are being done.
Yes, thank you. Well, as I said, we stepped up with support of Adrian Arsht and the Arsht Rock Center to create a heat office. Jane Gilbert is our chief heat officer, and she's gotten some real global recognition for her work. We declared the first ever heat season. So along with our hurricane season, we now have a heat season, and all of that is designed around educating. And education is the key factor because we need to protect everybody, our outdoor workers, our young people doing sports, because I mention these things because there's tragedies in all of these areas. We need to reduce the ambient temperature, which we've done through aggressively planting trees. So we have pledged to move forward to a 30% tree canopy cover, particularly in our most vulnerable neighborhoods that lack. The wealthier neighborhoods have more trees, the poorer neighborhoods fewer. And also preserving trees. If we have to do construction, we relocate the trees wherever possible. And basically an extreme heat health task force that has looked especially at our vulnerable populations. And we also have worked with our Department of Emergency Management for new protocols with heat advisories and warnings. So again, educating. People understand about hurricanes to some extent. The newcomers haven't quite figured it out. But again, training. So we've delivered heat training to over 400 plus volunteers. Our classes are always at capacity, so we're going to ramp that up. That's a lot of businesses. We want employers to learn to do the right thing. Recently, the state has preempted us from passing local laws that would provide heat, shade, and rest for outdoor workers when the extreme heat index is too high. So we need to take it upon ourselves and work with our business community to make sure that we protect our workers. And we've also activated cooling sites. So our libraries and our parks have cooling sites. And recently we unveiled at Emerge America's Tech Summit that a map where you can find out where is the closest cooling center.
Okay, great, fantastic. And for senior citizens as well, there's a plan that includes senior citizens and protection.
Yes. Well, again, these cooling centers, very, very critically important. And we do have funds for retrofitting. And for example, the HVAC systems, using federal dollars and state dollars, we've been able to retrofit windows, doors, roofs, and cooling systems. But we need more. We need to do more.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. It's going to be a rough
scorcher.
Scorcher. As they say. Well, a little up of the line of my activity. I'm in insurance, as you know, and insurance is becoming a huge problem. Coastal cities with the impact of hurricanes, the impact of climate issues, variations of what the previous, you could say, records of climate, how it's changing, is causing, and in a city, in a county like Miami-Dade that has a strong housing project that is continued to develop, is moving forward. Insurance companies are moving away, rates are going up, they're unaffordable or even impossible to get, and you were just commenting something that was the backstage.
Yes, I got my own notice that my insurance was lapsing tomorrow, so I had to quickly solve that problem.
That'll be solved, don't worry. What I'm saying is, this has to be something within the scope of the administration.
Absolutely.
And what do you think? What do you think can be done? And and how the general population also has to react to this type of situations?
So wherever I go, insurance is top of mind. People are very concerned if they can get it, how much the cost has gone up. And I understand it's at least a national problem, a global problem too. So most of the insurance rate setting and regulations are at the state level. However, we've been aggressively seeking solutions, and we were able through FEMA, the Federal Emergency Management Administration, to reduce our community rating from a 5 to a 3, which is unprecedented, and brings down the cost of our insurance, 35% for flood insurance. And that was as a result of all of the adaptation actions that we've taken to protect against extreme flooding. We also recently had our fire department, the first in the nation large fire department to achieve the highest rating from the ISO, which rates these things,
Yes.
which will also contribute to a reduction in insurance costs. And we're trying to calculate what that will be, because it will vary from company to company. It's not like FEMA that actually sets the rates. So, but we're very, very hopeful that will have a benefit. And we're looking at insurance alternatives as well. So we'll be putting out a white paper with some ideas to try to help our local residents. But clearly, it's huge, and many are going bare. We know that. And that, of course, poses an look, we're the most assets at risk of any place in the world, as I understand it. So we have to be extremely aggressive and do everything in our power.
I think there's also a matter of education, as you were mentioning, education on heat, education on insurance as well, is particularly people protecting their own goods, because one of the problems that is of the concern of insurance companies is when natural disasters occur, people will just abandon their goods and then go away. I think and there's obviously all the financial solutions like parametric insurance and new ideas. Well, you've had catastrophic insurance for hurricanes in the past. So financial solutions, obviously, these are all things that I know you're taking good care of looking into.
Well, you're the expert, and I'm going to have my working group reach out to you to make sure that we've covered all of those possibilities.
Okay, so again, and then Daniella, I'd really like you just some final words. You know, we're gonna be you're always short on time, so we're gonna be very clear, and we're gonna finish this off. Some final words. I mean, Miami-Dade County is really the commitment towards the objectives for 2030, 2050, is outstanding, and is a model for many of the large cities. Many people, and when I talk in Latin America, many people don't think large cities can do that much. In 5 minutes, we're going to have Eric Adams here, also telling what New York is doing. Huge cities like Miami, the county of Miami-Dade and New York, doing tremendous things. This is your opportunity. I know that this is something that is in your heart. It's something that you push for. So.
Well, let me focus first on local, and then I'll talk global. For local, I think it's really important that people feel it personally, so that when it floods, now people care about how we're going to mitigate floods. When there's a massive fish kill in our bay, which is our economic engine, $64 billion impact, Biscayne Bay, when they see that, they get religion. How can we prevent nutrients to go into the bay and harm our biodiversity, right? Which I'm learning is a key factor going forward. Biodiversity credits. Okay, I'm going to check that out, because we value it here so much. So people really recognize that. And then they get motivated, right? When they see something that's a direct threat to them, and then we can translate it into a broader policy issue. And on the global level, of course, I'm hyper-local in my day-to-day work, but I've had the good fortune to be part of some UN commissions and task force, SDG, and not only do we care about what happens in the entire world, but we are actually part of small island developing nations, SIDS, because we're low-lying, just like the Caribbean, and we have the most SIDS in the world right here in our vicinity. And we know that climate migration is a real thing. It's a real threat. So I'm excited about working together across the global spectrum to come up with ways to support other places to have the kind of infrastructure supports that we have. And we do have extraordinary support from the Biden administration. For example, and we're changing our rules. We're adding an impervious ordinance about absorption of water, which is critically important. But we have to be doing fill and building differently and looking at pumps and gates. We're working with the Army Corps of Engineers, the biggest builder, right, in probably the world. We have the most projects of any place in the country, including what's called Back Bay, which is about how to protect against storm surge. And that's going to be rolled out, the plan, in August, and we'll be seeking a lot of money from the federal government to help us prepare for those eventualities.
Well, thank you very much. It's been a real pleasure. We're sharp on time and precise as we have to. Okay, so thank you very much.
Thank you, Alejandro. Very good.